to. You got to get that mental health. You know, God is...
All right, good morning.
Good
This is the
morning.
day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Come on, Monday. Here you go. What's
It's
going
Monday.
on, Christy?
Nikki, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Love Day Eve. I know I just made that up. I did.
That is Love Day Eve. I was waiting for it. You know, I was here for it. I was waiting on it. I was waiting on you to tell us all about the Love Day.
It's
It's
Love
Love
Day.
Day.
Love Day Eve.
Y'all, it's Love Day Eve. Oh
Even
my
if you
goodness.
don't celebrate Valentine's every day at my house, stop the line. No, it ain't. Love on that person harder. It ain't got to be a
Goodness.
romantic something. Love on yourself harder. Love on your gal, pal, your children, whatever.
Just
It's
be
just,
loving. Just be loving the people. Love on the love.
Nikki, can we talk about this Super Bowl game just for a second?
Just,
Because I lost the bet.
oh,
Let me tell you how
what
confident
team
I
was you
was.
going for?
I was going for the Eagles
Okay.
because they're,
Big shout out to Jalen Hurt from the city. Yeah,
Channel View. Like you
he's
can't be
Channel
no.
View. Yeah.
So I always like to go for the hometown hero. Of course, I'm originally from Lake Charles, Louisiana, but I've been in Houston
Right.
for 15 years, so I'm gonna go for the homeboy that's closest to where I'm
Okay.
residing. Jalen Hurts with
Okay.
respect. And then if you're Eagles, if you're a Saints fan, we go for the Eagles. We
Okay.
I was so sure in my bet that I made. I threw what I wanted if I won the bet. I didn't even care what the other person wanted because I just knew that I was going to win. I didn't even bother to listen to what the other person wanted. I was like, I'm good. I'm going to win.
Oh. Oh. And so,
And I lost. This was
oh.
a good game. This was a good game.
Okay.
And why is the people all up in arms? Because Riri had a little bump in the belly.
Here, listen.
Why Riri can't have
The
babies back
Saints,
to back?
the Saints is upset like they have to take care of Riri's baby.
I'm like,
Like as if Riri, I don't know. You know,
yeah, as I said last night, why is y'all upset on Beyonce's internet
Get-
behind Riri? Folks wanted to see her drop it and do what she normally do, and I get you had an expectation in your mind. It ain't nothing like having an expectation for what you want to see, and then Riri pop out and be like, "I'm full of the baby. I can't pop lock and drop it and twerk like I would, But you can go watch a video. You can go
Riri,
run back a
Riri
video.
wasn't trying to pop, lock, and drop it. Riri was doing just what she did. Riri had already had plans. They thought Riri was going to have a actual good morning, Pastor Whitaker.
Good
Pastor Whitaker,
morning.
he cut up yesterday on that word. Yes, sir.
What? I
Yes,
gotta go
he
back and
did.
listen. Is it live somewhere? Is it
It's
YouTube? Is it
live.
stream?
It's live. It's live.
I'm going back and watching Pastor Whitaker.
Yes,
That's what I
Pastor
like
Whitaker
to
cut
do.
up on the word. He's been talking about focus, and
Oh, I love it.
he put extreme focus yesterday, and he walked that thing out with Job, and he got us
Man,
good and together.
I'm for
Yeah,
sure going to listen. I've always been intrigued with Job.
no,
Um, I've always been intrigued
but
with
here's the other part of it, Christy. That's crazy. These people is killing the dude, Fletcher, with that Sunday go meet first
listen.
lady.
At
And I,
first, I was when I first saw it, come across my feed, I was like, did they Photoshop this on this man?
no, he
And
won't
then I
that.
was like,
He
ain't
won't.
nobody said, say, bruh, is
They
that
put
what
the
you
hat
want
on
to
the
do?
bruh. They put
Couldn't,
the hat on the bruh.
did nobody pull him aside? Maybe somebody did. Maybe he was still like, I'm waiting. Sometimes people
I'm
will
wearing my
warn us
outfit.
and we just say, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway.
When they
He,
said, that, and I ain't gonna lie, I did participate. It is on my page. I participated
and
because
you should have because it was
I
funny.
giggled. I like a good giggle right
You
there.
like a good
I
kiki.
like a good
100%.
kiki ha ha right there. Cause there's something about the Mother's Church suits annual days. first lady suit, and then they threw a hat on him. Oh, they just did him in. Oh, the boy. And someone said that he had on he had on the when you go to your grandma's house and you didn't bring your church.
I mean,
Listen, Pastor
yes,
Whitaker.
yes,
He said
Pastor
that boy
Whitaker.
was wearing an Easter suit from Lane Bryant.
He was Easter
Uh-uh.
ready with that color. Come on through.
That wasn't no Lane Bryant special. That let me educate you. That was a Lillian Morris right there from the boutique.
That could have been a boutique one. It just needed to not be visual on
And
him last
when
night.
he there he is. I was looking for him. Do you
Father
see
God.
that?
He
They
just
put the
needed
hat
a
on him,
tambourine. He needed a
and
tambourine. That's it.
that one person say on their comments, first giving honor to God to my husband, the pastor. I say, you know what? Then Bun B said, big shouts out to Bun B. Bun B said, they talking about, dude got on a blouse. Bun B say, it's a camisole.
It's a camera.
That took me out. If you know anything about a woman church and an outfit and what she wear underneath,
It's gonna be a
it's
camisole.
a camisole. I can't
Bun
stand
B
a
spent some
shell.
time. Spent some
It's
time
a
with his
shell.
mama.
They call it a shell or a camisole.
You know what? I forgot about the shell, but it was called a shell of plenty a day in my house.
It was a shell. Put your shell on.
Put your
Yeah.
and you know exactly what that meant.
You know what that meant? We just was so, oh my goodness. We was just so intrigued with what he wore that day. He put it on. He put it on with a great intentions and anticipation of life that we was going to celebrate with him. And we do, as we do, as the first annual day choir and
Yes,
sisters
because
usher.
what we gonna get somebody all the way together. Yes, I did see that purple.
Yeah. I said we as African Americans, and it's our month too. Oh, we good for a good laugh at you. We are going to laugh through your pain. We are going to talk about you real good, and we're gonna get you real good together when it come down to close. That is a rich heritage that we have in us. We are not those people that play games when it comes down to how you supposed to dress. You gonna need
He,
to look good in the public.
he gonna get a good roast session for a good week.
Oh, he gonna be roasted for a while.
For a good week.
And then now we got the boys and girls running around here with these big floppy clown shoes on, the red boots.
They just
Who is dressing these people, Christy? Where is this job at? And please sign me up for the Christian Jubilee because they need
like
somebody to dress them.
this is what I know. We're in a generation of I used to call them I used to call them label whores back in the day, but I'm watching my words. But we're still in that generation of label lovers. I guess I don't know what a cute little term is right now, but it is nothing wrong with a label. I like a
What
label,
label is that though?
but
Is
some
them red
stuff
boots?
just because the label put it out and slap it on there, that don't
Don't
mean
wear
you
them.
got to go buy it and make it fashion. I'm like,
Ooh.
really? Them red rain boots? I know I had some. I probably got some red, some in my. I don't know. I don't know who's dressing them. I don't know who's putting the stamp of approval, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it here. It's horrible looking. I'm
Who
sick
said
of it.
that them boots is okay? Who is giving the okay to those boots?
But you know what though? You know what I think about Miss Nikki? Somebody had to draw those boots up. Some designer had to sketch that. It had to go to a boardroom. It had to pass check off from the boardroom to go to production. So it passed through, I don't know. It passed through all those hands. I don't know. But they didn't ask me. They didn't
They
ask
didn't
me.
ask me either, Christy,
Uh-uh.
because I would have gave a strong no. It's a no.
It's a hard pass. It's a
I would
next
have given us a strong no because y'all know it's a plug Monday. Please put your information in, plug your business.
plug
Christy,
Monday. Please,
Christy, listen.
I ain't got a stitch of
I,
jewelry.
I, I I don't know what we are doing in our behaviors these days, but these are some things we talking about forgiveness today. That's an unforgiveness there because I can't forgive.
We got to dig deep. We got
Gotta
to dig
dig
deep
deeper
and
there.
find out where that's coming from.
Yeah, that's stemming from somewhere. And then of course, if you're saying I'm no longer wanting to be a part of the crowd, or we just trying out some bozo the clown moments or whatever the case may
I
be,
hate
say
that.
that. Just say, you know what? I'm just tricking the people out and trying to see how much they are really truly following me because sometimes trends happen.
Yeah,
People
no doubt.
people do, they get tired. The young man who had the skirt on, Juju had a skirt on.
That's
Uh
becoming popular with the men these days.
yeah, they're wearing skirts. And
And
then
what?
of course, they go back and forth and they say, well, ladies, y'all wear things of ours, like these boys, men boxers and underwear briefs, and
We don't
that's
wear them
something
out in
popular
public.
that women are wearing. But women have been doing that and wearing a man's oversized shirt for years,
I don't think women wear boxes in the public. I'm trying to recall.
They do. They
They
do.
do. I
They,
missed
they,
it.
they,
I missed it. Okay.
these youngsters is doing it. Yep, they wearing them, child. They are wearing them. They are wearing boxers and briefs in the public. Girls are wearing them like shorts. Those are like
That needs to be corrected.
they are wearing them like shorts. They are actually shorts now. And it's so I'm like, okay, I understand y'all are doing your own trend and things. But we got to get back to real life. Putting our clothes on and looking like we somebody's because we are somebody. It's
Back in
still
the
Black
day,
History Month.
um, somebody we used to be able to correct other people's kids. I'm gonna say back in my day growing up,
Yeah.
it wasn't nothing for somebody to look. I caught myself sneaking a boy in the house one time, probably more than one time, but regardless, I got caught on this good time. That's why I'm bringing it up. I didn't know I got caught until a neighbor. Come on, people, y'all don't act like I ain't never tried to do that. And if you haven't, bless your soul. I did. Okay. Um, I tried to sneak to put the boys in the house, right? And I said plural boys because I had my best friend with me. Because you never do crimes alone. You bring your best
No,
friend.
no, no. You don't. You are
Um,
not alone.
so I had my best friend. Yes, yes, we did. Rest her soul. Rest in peace. But one of my friends' moms, we all live in the same neighborhood. She rolled on by there, and she saw. So she made a good old call to my mom on her job. And my mama was so smooth, she just got off of work a little bit early. And next thing I knew, I was like, "What is she doing at the house?" And my mom just flat out said, "Miss such and such said you was sneaking the boys in the house." And like
And
these,
they used to out their source. That's the part that was cold for me. Like
it
you didn't
was.
out your source, and their source was down for it.
Listen, because guess what? We ain't hiding, we ain't shaming. And so, but here's the deal: we try that today, and go and tell somebody, and try the village try to warn the parent. Why you all up in my business? Leave that alone. Don't be worrying about what my daughter doing. Worry about you. You know what I'm saying? My mama could have taken it and went a whole nother way, but it was done in love. I
And
I
then as
I didn't
soon
need
as it
to.
hit the fan,
We can't do that these days. Why
oh
can
no,
we not do that these days? Why is the village taking offense to us helping each other when that was just the thing back in the day? It was
baby,
okay to
listen.
correct somebody else's person. It was okay to correct somebody's child. It was okay for that. And now we don't let that happen.
No, nope. Don't you correct my baby. You done
Somebody
lost your
said,
mind.
"Do you have on boys boxer shorts? We don't wear that. Let's go take that off." But we can't do that no more. Everybody's
Mm-mm.
offended. Everybody's so easily offended these days.
And it was also like it was certain outfits, certain things that we just knew that they were no's. They were strong, hard no's. We would try a few little things because again, we had our trendy things, but
Yeah.
there was just some things that we was like, no, this is a no. This is
So
gonna be a hard no. We cannot do this. Um, we not gonna even try it. We're not gonna even try the liking of it.
it was a hard pass. It was a
It
hard
was
pass.
a hard pass. It was a real hard pass, and so we just kind of really said, no, that ain't what we're gonna do. Let's not do this.
We don't
Christy,
have that.
I've been really enjoying
Talk to me.
our time
Hmm.
that we have been discussing so many great things. And just as you said, so many revelations have been showing forth.
Hmm.
And I don't even say revelations too much of that. So many things that we have been talking about here on this platform, some of the major heavy hitters have been also discussing it on their platforms. And it really has encouraged us to continue to go on and do what we know to do best, right?
It has.
And
Absolutely.
so I'm glad that you said, let's also hit into this area of forgiveness, because forgiveness is important as well. Like I said, hey, I have been, baby, I have been hit and challenged with a space of saying, girl, pay attention, do what you got to do. I went through a big transition,
Yeah.
um, a quiet victory, but yet a loud movement.
Hmm.
And it really did require forgiveness. And I'm so excited about it, because to know that you have really honestly conquered that part of the situation itself, only to go to the next level
Yeah.
of the situation. And then you say, I find peace.
Man.
Yesterday, when the pastor said,
Man.
I'm not asking the mountain to move, I'm
Hmm.
just asking God to give me the strength to climb that mountain
And
and help me to trust him to get through it. See,
listen.
I said, sir, you done said something, because we always said, God move the mountain. God help me move this mountain. God help me to go through this mountain. No, 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 no. Go on and climb.
Because you know what God is saying? Put in some work. Put in some, but it's your parents just say, give me some, put in some elbow grease.
Put some
Get
elbow grease.
up
Because
and do intention.
with climbing, it takes your lower part of your body. From what
It
I
builds in,
understand, that
it
that
builds
takes that
endurance.
takes all your leg work. You gotta have your leg strength. You gonna work them lower muscles. Then you gotta work them.
That core street muscles that you didn't even know you had is being worked. But you know what climbing that mountain does? It builds endurance that you didn't know you
Ooh.
had inside of you. It builds strength. Um, you gotta, if you're not climbing alone, you have to listen for instruction. You know, when somebody's climbing,
Mm.
there's somebody normally on the ground. Wait, stop, be still, go forth, keep it moving. You can do it. Slide over to your left. Slide. They see what's coming. You got to be willing to
Ooh.
when you don't see. Climbing that mountain does so much more than what is actually being said when you look and see what climbing a mountain entails.
And the
It entails a
altitude
lot.
changes.
It does.
Ooh.
Come on, altitude change.
The higher you go, the
Mm,
shorter the air is.
you gotta sit right there for a second.
Can you give us some cup cam?
While I sit there for a second,
While we sit there in that moment. Yeah.
listen, this is just a regular old, just coffee.
Oh,
Just coffee.
oh, it just
So,
ain't coffee this morning. Come on, coffee.
but this one, this is special for me.
Okay.
I have this. It's a four set that comes in a rack. Get
Mm,
it from Ross. And this
okay.
this cup in this rack is a lot to me because when I first moved out of my home that I shared with my ex-husband, I moved into a townhome. And
Hmm.
my son, we was in Ross because I was newly divorced, Miss Nikki. I was broke. Let's just call a
Mm,
spade, sugar. I had
call
to
it
go to
what it
the dollar
is.
store and I had to go to certain place to get my dishes. Okay, and that's what I did. But my
Baby,
son,
listen.
I went inside a Ross for my son, and I was like, oh my god, I love that set of coffee cups. I just expressed how much I like them, and I want to say either for Mother's Day or whatever the next occasion was, he bought these for me, and he was in high school
Oh,
at the time. So whatever, he borrowed the money, he saved the money. I don't even think he was working at the time, but he gave these to me as a gift. So I love these, and it just says coffee. What is
yeah,
this? I love these cups.
that's cute. See?
So,
Babies be knowing. Babies be trying. They be trying to pull
listen,
it off.
this is the best thing I ever had. You know, wasn't expensive, nothing. But listen, this is on the out. This is just out wherever I am. Now I don't want
See?
you to. Anybody who see this broken nail, let's just go ahead and just call it what it is. You know, I like to just point out my issues up front, so you don't have to get in the comments or talk about the people and say Christy had a broken nail. Christy's bringing her broken nail to the forefront. I don't know what had happened, Miss Nikki. I was minding my own self business on Saturday night, and
Mhm,
I was journaling, and then it, you know, I think
mhm.
I hit it, and then it peeled off. So
Mm,
I'm gonna get it fixed today. I want to let you know
okay,
that everybody else is watching the replay and watching right now. I'm gonna get
right. Because
that's
you
right.
like talk with your hands,
I do
and you don't want them to. They look at your nails because they're like, "Oh, Christy's having an off day today with her nails."
that part, and she is, and I'm gonna be the first to say it. And
Listen, I-
I'm gonna get my life together with these nails.
that's what
Uh,
it is.
Miss Nikki, that altitude changes. You got to learn how to breathe different. You got to learn how to adjust. You get dizzy. You get lightheaded. It make you want to quit, right? It make you want to say, "Let me
Mhm.
go back so I know I can breathe." And the person at the bottom is like, "That's to be expected. Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go. That's to be expected. That's part of it. Let's go."
Mhm. And the higher you go, the shorter the breath.
Listen.
If you're not listening to the instructions of the person that's already climbed. Because I mean, you're not climbing with an inexperienced person. The person is well experienced on the ground. That's why they're able to guide you and tell you. Now, please remember that the reason why they're on the ground is because, like you said, they can see everything up and they've already been there, done that, got that T-shirt. But
Mm-hmm.
please note, they're climbing. They're climbing to that height. They're climbing to that peak, and they're climbing it with you. But they're not directly there behind you because it's just something about when people do it with you. Yes, they bring you energy and they get you there, but there are some tests, some trials that you're gonna have to climb alone.
Listen.
And you're gonna have to change that altitude. You got to change that level. You got to change that breath, breathing process. You got to do all of those things in places and spaces that nobody can go and do it for you. You are gonna have to do this by yourself.
And listen, doesn't it require a different level of focus
Yep.
the higher
Oh,
that
you go
you are?
because it's
Because
smaller.
it's smaller, you're more focused because number one, you're listening more intent to the instructions down there. You still trying to keep your head on the swivel and watch out for stuff. But more than that, you trying to keep your breath. Like you said, you don't your breath your breathing is different. So you're not wasting unnecessary talking and focusing over here. You're not worrying about all of that because you're trying to maintain your breath. You're trying to maintain your breathing speed. You done got a pattern. You don't even care anymore. You don't care what you look like in that moment. You don't care how am I looking to the people down there. You don't care how much I'm sweating. What do I look like from below? You ain't worry about none of that stuff. You trying to listen and you trying to make it to the top of that mountain. It's just
And
a
you
lot of
can't hear
stuff we
no
really
more.
ain't worry about.
What happens when you can't hear? Because the higher you go, the quieter the voice.
You better
Oh
rely
yeah,
on.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I did my homework on this mountain climb. That was some good word. I had to go and do a little research about climbing a mountain because there's a certain way that the mountain is built, and it's purposefully built that way. Its
Mm.
intentions is not for everybody to be at the top. That's you know
Wait
how
a
they
minute.
say
Wait a
everybody's not
minute.
going to be at the top with you.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Think
Just
about it in life. Think about a parking garage. You can drive all the way around on the bottom and it's crowded. Go to the second level, still kind of crowded. Third level, maybe a few, but it's a small crowd. Go to the fourth level, yep, it's a few hit and misses. But on that fifth level,
it's free. It's
you
open.
can park everywhere. Park as many places you want to. I remember going to a conference and hearing a gentleman
Mm.
say he was riding in his Lamborghini and him and his son, they were driving and he's like, Dad, there's a parking spot right there. He's like, "Now, son, we're gonna keep going. Dad, there's one right there. Now, son, we're gonna keep not Dad, there's one right there. Now, son, we're gonna keep going." They went all the way up to the top level. And he's like, we can park right here because there's the door right there.
See,
He say, and I don't have to take a chance of my Lambo getting scratched, touched, or anything. He say, son, remember, there's not going to be a lot of people at the top, but everybody want to go.
listen, I'm just gonna sit
That
right here.
blessed my life so good.
I'm just gonna sit and take that in.
The
Cause you showed
1% is
up.
the 1% for a reason.
And for a reason.
They're the 1% for a reason. And the reason is because they know. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Taylor. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
The reason for them being who they are is because everybody's not willing to put in their work.
It's
This is
hard.
what Pastor Whitaker said yesterday. Everybody not willing to focus like that. They're
It
not willing to
requires.
put in that kind of work to focus in that area of life. And so when we do go into it,
Hmm.
as far as forgiveness, this is one of those things that really truly forgiveness is a stumbling block that stops us from being able to really truly climb our mountain.
Yeah.
And if you really think
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
climbing, moving forward, going into something new, gravitating, and really truly elevating, that is all a mind game. So a man thinketh that so shall he be. It's a
Yeah.
mind thing. It's what you telling your mind.
What you
It's
think?
really seriously, what are you telling your mind? How are you viewing your life? And really seriously, where are you?
That's just real. We toss it around like a cliche, but it's just real.
It's
It,
real, real.
what's in your mind? What are you speaking? The power of your words. Once you really grasp the power of your words, some things I don't even joke about anymore. Some things I don't even jokingly say. Cause and then I'll say, well, we're not putting that in the atmosphere. We're not just throwing that around. I even catch my sons. They might do something that's they be like, oh, that was just so stupid. And I catch my sons or anybody, oh, I'm so dumb. I was like, no, you're not. Do not say that. Quit feeding yourself that. You're not dumb. You
You
just
see yourself there.
we're not gonna do that. You're not
That's
dumb,
like
you're not
parents.
stupid. Stop doing that.
I want parents to quit talking about my little broke best friend. No, 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 no. Quit speaking that to your children. Oh,
Listen.
I'm with my little broke best friend. Look, me and little broke best friend. No, I'm with rich best friend. I'm with my little rich best friend, my little wealthy best friend, my little healthy best friend. Quit telling them children that's kind of foolishness, picking up these little wrongful trends and going down the road with it. And no, so a man thinketh, that so shall he
So
be.
shall it be.
Speaking your words.
And
Yeah, I can't
joking
stand that
or
either.
not,
Sensei, I don't
you
like
know.
that word.
And let me tell you something. When you're studying the human brain, well, you just studying, I say study human brain. When you're studying how the body reacts to things, your brain doesn't know when you're joking. The brain does not know, oh, that was a joke. Oh, we're not going to take it serious. The brain does not recognize that. It seeps in what it's given. That's just that on that. You couldn't have been no any further from the truth. Well, did I say that right? You
Yeah,
you you were spot on.
yeah,
You couldn't
yeah,
have been close to the truth. That's what you say.
yeah.
That's just spot on. We have to watch our words.
And
We
think
have
about
to.
it like this here. Things that so it's stated as well, we laugh a lot into our trauma. That is a defense mechanism into our trauma. We cannot, that's just like what we did with the gentleman. We can identify so well with what that guy had on,
Hmm.
how he looked. We
Hmm.
told, we added to his
Baby,
insult to injury. Come on and put a hat on him. Well, we know these things because what? We have saw
we
these actions
experienced it. Yeah,
happen every Sunday. And so
yeah,
our identity, there is a difference in the identity of what we see. No
yeah.
matter what a person say, oh no, this is a blouse. Girl, that's a sweater.
Girl,
Chrissy, this a blouse. No, girl, that's a sweater. Christy got on a shirt, a t-shirt. That's a sweater. No, it's not. Because we have been taught the difference between the two.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when we see something that looks so different than what it is that we find the laughter to the pain. I was looking again,
that's
y'all know
true.
I stay on this good info net
That's right.
learning. I was looking at girl, I love DC Young Fly. They are so funny. 85 South, that's my show.
Okay,
There was a man who was
okay.
handicapped.
Uh-huh.
And the gentleman, they made a whole song. We so creative. They
We are.
have taken his handicap and made a whole song out of it. You can walk. Come on, boy, you can walk. And when I tell you the healing that they don't even understand how much
Mhm.
healing went forth in that conversation, in
Mhm.
that song, in that hype. That man got up and started walking. He looked as if he had a stroke, but the way that he walked and whoever was with him was crying like, oh my
Oh my
God,
God.
like as if to say this man has not. And then when you go back for the backstory, I'm looking for the video
Mhm. Mhm.
clip of it, the backstory, when they got to talk to the man and his sister, she said, my brother have not done that much of movement,
In a long-
especially with that leg
You gotta
in that
speak
much
it.
of time. And this is because he was just coming in late, him and his sister showing up late. And they said, look at him. And they just, I mean, went in on it. But the man got up and started walking and I mean, was really hyped up. The
Yes.
crowd got hyped. Healing is in humans.
It is.
Words are powerful.
They
And how
powerful.
we really truly take our pains and really, really honestly expose them,
Yeah.
dissect it, dialogue, all those things really true make a difference. And it really honestly, it turns a whole situation around.
Every time. Dissecting it. When you said dissect it, we look over that a lot. We look
Mm,
over dissection.
mm,
That goes right into forgiveness. I don't know if anybody ever taken biology class in high school. I know I have taken biology too, and we had to dissect a frog.
mm.
Was it cats? It was cats. We had
It
to
was
dissect
cats,
in biology
frogs,
too.
what was the cats, the
And
frogs, the squid,
listen,
uh,
we did cats. I don't know what partnership they had, but it was a bunch of just dead cats in biology two class. So we did cats. People overlook dissect. We just dissect the problem. Do you know what it is to dissect something? you
please
are
help us.
First of all, you're cutting it open. That's painful already.
Ooh.
You gotta cut it open. That hurt. A lot of times we want to quit right when we cut it open. You gotta cut open. And then when you dissect, you just looking through every organ, you looking through every this and that.
But
Sometimes you may find
Wait, Christy, it's a smell. Let's talk about that smell.
it's a smell and you have gloves on. It's a smell and you have gloves on. It stinks.
And a mask.
It stinks to dissect something. And yes, they put that embalming fluid or maybe all of that stuff. I can't remember what was in the cats, but you're right. It stinks. But you still got to get in there and dissect it. You got to be willing to withstand to get to what you need to find the root of that thing. Sometimes we don't want to go through the process of dissecting and getting to the root of that thing. And that's in anything. That's really key in forgiveness. You got to dissect this issue. You can't bypass it. Yeah, you're going to have to get dirty. It's going to get grimy. It's going to get dirty. You're going to run across some things and be like, I didn't know that was in there. Oh, they got a cancer growing in here. Some cats had cancers growing. Some cats had
Ooh.
babies inside of them that we didn't know until we got in there to dissect. There was a baby that was pregnant. We didn't know. All kind of issues
Mm.
you run across when you take the time to dissect those issues,
Mm.
and it hurts, and it stinks, and you're not gonna like it every day. But what I found when Christy was dissecting Christy, along with my therapist and Jesus, both of the two,
They go together.
is that I realized I had to dissect myself for myself. I realized what my why was. Normally when you're disfocused on something, somebody asks, what is your why? What is your reason? And I was good at giving everybody else, well, I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better this and that. And finally I said, I want to be a better Christy for Christy because I owe it to Christy to be a better Christy for Christy. Everybody else can be a benefit. Everybody else, they're going to benefit from me being a better Christy. But you got to make your why yourself. I wanted to be healed for me. I was tired of walking around and every little thing triggering me. And it
Mm.
required I had to do some forgiveness. We throw trigger around every day. That is not fun to be triggered when somebody walk in the room and look funny and now you triggered.
Mm.
that's exhausting. That's emotionally exhausting for everything to trigger you. Let's work.
Mm,
Let's do the work. Part of it is forgiveness. You're gonna forgive a person that ain't never apologized. You're going to accept the apology that you're never gonna get.
mm,
That was so hard. But that's part of forgiveness. You don't have to forget. You ain't gotta go be besties. You ain't gotta sit down and share a meal and play Uno and move on like nothing happened. But you still gotta
yeah.
dissect that thing. And because you don't want to repeat the pattern either.
That's good.
You don't want to
And,
repeat the pattern.
and what about that gut? You know, we talk about ladies. We talk about I want to lose this belly. I want to give me a tummy tuck. You can get as many tummy tucks as you want to. But let
Keep
me
it
tell you what I learned and what I know. They said in that midsection, if you're having any gastrology problems and all kinds of issues, you better start paying attention to what you holding on to. It's the truth.
you know what?
You better pass that gas. You better forgive.
That was good right there. I'm not gonna play with you, Nikki. See,
It's the truth.
in these moments I'll be like this. I just want to sit right here and just learn with everybody else. Like,
It's the
it's
truth.
facts.
It's the real
It's,
truth.
it's the baggage. Once you get a good old colonic or you get a good old something to help you pass all of that stuff, and you take something and you gonna cramp, no matter how much the directions say, it's no cramping involved. You gonna cramp. You gonna do everything it is. That stomach gonna hurt. You gonna be doubled over. Matter of fact, you ain't gonna do nothing for the weekend. You gonna be in the house the whole weekend so you can get that bloat and pass all that stuff.
That's what forgiveness is.
Mm.
You're gonna be past and win because you need to get it out of you. And
But
it's
you
gonna stink.
but you feel so much better when it's over. And you
But
know
you
what
feel
else?
so much better.
It's tiring. It's going to be emotionally tiring. When you sick and you have been best friends with the toilet, it's tiring. You just want to go sleep. But it's a process. But like you said, you've been putting that stuff in you for a minute. You've been feeding that,
Ooh,
holding on to it for a minute. That's why I stink so bad. Wouldn't it be so much greater if once we eat something that doesn't agree with us, or we take something in that we work it out, we let our body process that, we break it down and we pass it in?
a lot of the unforgiveness is from people who you put so much into that
Mm-hmm.
you believed and you trusted. You didn't trust God, you trusted them. You
And I'm
trusted
not,
them more than you trusted the God that you serve. And also, you trusted every word that they say. Can I help you with words? Words hurt.
listen,
And the design of the words that hurt is because of the disappointment that comes with those words.
yeah.
Because we built up a real live belief. The words that were said, we believed in the words, and also we failed to pay attention to the actions. Actions speak louder than words. If somebody keeps saying to you, "Oh, I got your back, I'm down, I'm in," and they never show up for you to have your back, they're never down and in, but they're always there for the end results. That right there alone lets you know they're not willing to walk through the process. As Oprah say, they want to ride in limos with you, but they don't want to really walk with you. Please
Listen,
forgive them because they really honestly don't know how to tell you they don't want to do that.
forgive them and move on.
Move
And
on.
I know what you think. It's not that easy. I never once said it's gonna be easy. It's
Mhm.
not gonna be easy. It's not.
And let me free us up here.
Let's
All
stop
of us
looking
with
for the easy.
these repeat cycles, and we
Hey,
okay with these cycle lies. Yeah, I said cycle and a lie, cycle lies. We're
uh-huh.
okay with repeat cycle lies. I get it. When someone comes back to you, we talk about love because it's pre-love day. When somebody comes back to you and they come back to you with the same beautiful charm, charisma, and the flowers and all those things, I also need you to realize what really seriously part of those roses smelled like sugar, honey, iced tea. That's the part we're focusing on, not the fact that they can deliver the edible arrangements, not the fact that they can provide you with the LVs, not the fact that they are able to get it on and really seriously, make your body quiver, shiver in the bed. What really seriously took y'all from that place
Yeah.
and brought you into the real reality portions of the house that y'all really can't get together in? I used to tell my ex-husband, we
It
never had a problem in our bedroom. It was the other parts of the house we couldn't live in.
was, that's
So
facts.
let's go visit those seats. Let's go to the living room. Let's sit down. Let's go sit in the kitchen. That these are the places where we are.
Yeah.
Let's go to these places where we are standing in, so that we're able to move forward and go stand forward in these places.
And it's hard.
It's hard.
I'll be the first to say it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. But
It is hard.
it's harder with the longer you hold on to it. The longer you hold on to that unforgiveness, then resentment builds in, then self-doubt comes in, and then it's stereotyping. Well, everybody like this. Well, I don't have no women friends because you can't trust no women out there. There are plenty women that you can trust. There are plenty women. More than that, you sometimes we miss the warning signs, Miss Nigga. Sometimes we set ourselves up. Just like you said, your actions have shown that such and such is not a good friend. You were so busy not paying attention. You was just so excited to blah 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 for somebody to feed you the beautiful lie. You missed all of the signs.
And
I'm
we
talking.
loyal to time.
Listen, I'm talking to myself. I missed the signs on. Child, I thought this person was the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my god, oh my god, she supports me, this and that. And then when the relationship dissolved, hindsight is always 2020. And I look back, I was like, this girl been not showing up for me. And how did I miss that? Oh, she been not coming out to none of my stuff. How did I miss that? I missed it. And this is what I had to do. I could have easily said, oh, I could have easily not taken accountability. Christy told Christy, yeah, take that L, sis, because you could go back a year later and didn't you see she didn't show up for this? And you took the excuse, you took the beautiful lie because she worded it nice, put it in a nice, pretty bow. But at the end of the day, she wasn't there. And I was
She
like,
wasn't there. That was the key part. What did Jesus say to the disciples at the last of the suppers? Why are you nervous? See, the thing is that if it's not really truly you, if this portion of the hit dog's gonna holler, that's what the old people say.
every
So
time.
if this part of the story does not belong to you, then you
You
should
be
never
good.
ever be offended, and your feelings should never be hurt, and you should never be ruffled by your feathers. Why? Because Jesus said it. Somebody gonna betray me. They got nervous, like
Who? Is it me?
nervous,
Is
nervous.
it me?
And I'm
You tell
like,
me.
all of y'all, not all of y'all, right? All of y'all sitting down, and all of y'all are sitting up in here. So everybody has something to say about this one man that you've been walking with, talking with, and y'all nervous. But the and I always say that, because Peter, Judas, they was the ones that was already,
Mhm.
and Thomas, they was already the ones that was bold enough. John was forefront too. These dudes here, but what about them other quiet corners? Because they was mumbling too. They had some words too. They was like, because if you didn't say nothing,
Look,
you sit there like, yeah, dog, yeah. Like I said before, I've been in situations with people and they be having it going off like, man, I can't believe they sat up there and said this and this, that, and about me. And I'm like,
you can't.
it sure is bad. And they be like, Nikki, did you know? No. You know why I didn't know? Because I like to make sure that I tell you, you know why? Because I would have addressed them and I would have called you.
At
Because
that point,
I don't think it's fair for you to not know what these folks had to say.
look, I would have told you right then and there.
I need to make sure you understand. Watch your folks. Watch their mouths. I have folks that I know I can give a bone to, and baby, they gonna deliver directly at the front door, ring the doorbell, and honey, the telegram gonna be telling it. And I
Listen,
purposefully give them bones. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that the delivery gets there. However, I need the brave person who is receiving it to come back and say, well, let me call Nikki so they can really get the whole delivery of the message. Because
listen.
again, we already know that communication, translation, and conversation, it
It's
don't never get to the door the way it's supposed to.
not never. Not
It
never.
gets there for the juicy parts of what we want it to be. Oh, trust me, I know y'all.
Listen, let me tell you what I started doing in leadership meetings back when I managed people. Um, and they come with me what he say, she say, I'll be like, hold up, let's get everybody in the room right now. Let me tell you, I will do that. I will do that right now. Well, go ahead and give them a call on the phone. Let's go ahead and call. Well, they said that you said, go ahead and call them because I know what I said. And if they know what I said, they shouldn't have no, if nobody should have an issue repeating themselves. What? One thing about Kristen Michelle that you will know is I do not have a problem with repeating myself in front of you.
And adding more.
Listen,
And
yes,
giving
I
the
said it. Look, yes, I
the
did say
final
it.
thought.
But yes, I did say it. I am so sorry I said that at the time. Sometimes I was wrong in what I said. Yeah, I was wrong. I was in my feelings. I do apologize. I'm a big enough girl. But what I found when you try to get everybody together, that person be like, well, I don't know. No, call them.
Because
Put them
they
on
had something to say.
put put them on the three-way and
They had something to say.
tell them I'm in the room, tell them I'm not in the room. It don't matter. I'm like you. Number one, I don't have time. I don't have my time is precious. I don't have time. So maybe that's why I don't get the stuff being bought to me like that. But since we talking, I don't be getting the stuff like that. I be call them on the phone. Let's go. Let's just look. Family meeting. I just family meeting right now. Now what? Now what is we saying? I I don't like confusion. I don't like confusion. We
I,
gonna
I'm
settle this.
I miss a bunch of programs and meetings too. Well, good morning, Alicia. Alicia Carter's in the building.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
I
I
miss a
just
lot of meetings too. And that's one of the things. And y'all, let me help you right there. It's okay. It's okay to miss out. You don't. Really honestly. What I found, Christy, is that you don't really want to be in a bunch of those little circles like that anyway.
once you
You
be
don't
in
care to
them,
be in those circles. You don't want to participate in them programs like that. And the
once you
reason
be
being is
in them, you
because
don't want to do it. That's true.
but Christy, this is the pressing question. How do we forgive?
Hmm.
How do we start forgiving people in the places where it was the depth deep of the hurt
Mhm.
of the silence? I mean, like the quiet hurt, like never spoken on it. You know how folks have a buildup of why they're hurt?
Mhm.
Like, you don't talk to me no more. I'm mad because you just stopped talking to me. Then they just blow up.
Like
How do we
fire.
work on that forgiveness there?
I think number one, not I don't think. I know number one, the first thing is acknowledging the hurt. Old school, take out take out a pad and a pencil. You need to
Mm,
write down everything that hurt. Write down the hurt and why. It's gonna take you some time. You're gonna cry while you're doing it. You're gonna probably not even want it. I don't want to go back there and relive it. Let me tell you, you are going to have to relive it. Come here to me. You're gonna have to relive it. You're gonna have to. The scab didn't heal properly. When the
mm,
scab don't heal properly, the doctor go in and re-break that bone. When the bone heals crooked, it's no use. So you didn't
mm.
heal, but it's scabbed over. So it's still not right on the inside. It's easy on the outside. You gotta go. You gotta write that thing down.
Yeah,
Write it. Everything they did, how they made you feel. Once you acknowledge everything, because it's something about the writing with the brain, the writing and the mind. They work together. Believe it or not.
I was
Um,
just getting ready to say, please
they
explain to people
yeah,
why they always got to write something.
you got to write. It does something. It jogs the brain. It gets certain juices flowing per se. I love technology and I love to type it in, but it's nothing like actually writing it out. Things will come back to your memory while you're writing. Your brain has a way of remembering stuff. Emotion starts coming out. Another thing, you got to. I'm so old school. I have so many tablets. Another thing is when you're writing, what we like to do is you're going to cry. Let those tears fall. It's
Ooh,
something about allowing the tears to fall down your face. Let it fall. Get ugly, get grimy. It's just you. Get all of that out.
mm,
That's right, Miss Carter. So all of that is part of you unpacking what you're angry about with this person. Be clear. I am angry with my dad because he did not protect me and I was abused and I was taught my dad is my greatest protector. Write
ooh,
that out. You got to
call
write
it
it
out.
out. Write how you felt. It's going to hurt. Once you do that, I promise you, it's going to hurt. You're going to cry it out. It's going to be such an emotional relief. You may have to take a nap. You may have to
Ooh,
get some water. You may have to sit with that for a day or two. Then, if you want to address the person, because believe it or not, you're going to start to heal when you start acknowledging. You're going to start being like this and this. You may even, when you start acknowledging, recognize the part that you played into it. Sometimes we're so busy. Yes, you were victimized. Yes, you did this and that, but you still have to take ownership in what you did not do that could have had you healed early on, per
Mhm.
se. You're going to take ownership. It's not saying you're to blame for what happened, but at the end of the day, you accept ownership on something you could have done. That's also going to empower you. Accepting ownership empowers you. I messed up. I could have done this differently. Don't hold yourself in bondage with it. Don't beat yourself up. You're simply acknowledging this is kind of what I could have did differently in this situation. Period.
Yeah.
The next step, what I like to tell people, because everybody wants to, I need to just tell them how I feel. And I
Please,
need answers, and I need closure. Let me help you from a therapy standpoint. What
please
was
do.
told to me and what I tell people. Yes, you want answers. It's human nature. We're inquisitive. We want to know, how could you do this to me? How could you treat me this way? Why, how? Be prepared for the answer that you're not going to get. Some people will come and say, I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't do this and that. Some people can have that conversation and admit their fault. They can say, well, I was treated this way, or this is how my mom did
Mhm.
me, so I subsequently raised you that way. Whatever the deal may be. Some people will never own their sugar honey iced tea. Miss Nikki, some people won't own it. So you have to make up in your mind, if you don't hear anything else I'm saying, you have to make up in your mind, how is this going to affect my healing process that I've already started? If once I go to this person and my expectation is that they're gonna apologize, they're gonna acknowledge they're wrong,
Mhm.
and you get there to them and they look at you like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Because you
That's
will
good
get
right there,
that.
Christy.
So
Mhm.
are you ready to go to that person and accept whatever answer they give you? Are you
Mhm.
willing to chance it? Some people are
Wow.
not going to own their stuff.
That is good right there,
Some
Christy. I
people
like that.
are going to flip it around on you for whatever reason because they feel bad. They don't want to take ownership. It's hard to admit to somebody, yeah, I messed up and I'm sorry. Everybody does not do that well.
Mhm.
So you have to acknowledge the word what we like to throw around, protecting your peace and protecting your
Mhm.
mental. You have to acknowledge, am I healed enough in this area to
Ooh,
accept the answer I'm never going to
I
get from
know
this
that
person?
is good, Alicia. Am I healed enough?
Am I healed enough? Do I want to set me back? Do I
Ooh.
want to set me back? Is it worth that?
Christy, let me ask this part of the question. You said a person you have to be okay with a person not giving you the real honest truth of what you're asking for in that moment, right? So
Yeah.
let me ask this question.
Hmm.
Is it also a brain thing that your brain really honestly will do a meltdown, a shutdown to protect you
Hmm.
from that place of where that person is saying something to you that is not really truly the um therapeutic move that you need,
Hmm.
because there are some my therapist always say that there are some therapeutic emotions
Hmm.
that you need. Like, you need to hear someone tell you that you're beautiful. You
Yeah.
need to hear someone says that they love you. You need to hear someone says that they care.
Yeah.
And even in giving deliveries of bad news, there's a reason why your tone is different.
Hmm.
There's a reason for a person saying, asking you to sit down. Are you sitting? Are you alone? There's reasons for that, because your brain can have an emotional
Yeah.
overload. But once they hear those triggers,
It
it
goes.
automatically goes into a protective shutdown mode.
It will. It will.
Because,
Yeah.
have you ever heard somebody say,
Your brain
I,
and
I
your
didn't,
emotions.
after
After they
they
told
told
me
me
that,
my
I
mother
remember
died,
I blacked
I,
out.
I didn't hear nothing else.
Listen, that is so true. The body is an amazing thing. um,
Yes, it is.
your brain, your body knows what it can take, what it cannot handle. Yes, to answer your question, yes, you will black out. You won't be able to take any more information. you won't be able to emotionally accept so much. Oh, you can only emotionally take so much. that's just that's just that on that. True story. You know, my mother passed away. I think everyone who's been listening knows that. My mother passed away in March of last year. My former brother-in-law, my ex-husband's brother, passed away suddenly in September. So it's like March or
Mhm.
September. Passed away suddenly. I was married to this man for 20 years. So obviously his baby brother, I damn near watched him grow up. I was still in the thick of my grief. I was in 6 months into my grief with my mother. To where when I got the news, I did not cry for the first couple of months.
Mhm.
I know that man. I grew up, I watched him graduate high school and do this and that. Like we had a relationship. My body was like, it's only so much grief that you can take in because the body doesn't know which grief how you're grieving. Your body doesn't know, okay, today we're gonna grieve your mama, this day we're gonna grieve your brother-in-law. You know, your body doesn't know. So I was already in the
Mhm.
thick of grief. My body couldn't separate the grief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, per se. So to answer your question, yes, you can go numb. You can not feel all the feels that you need to feel at the time. And the body does that to protect itself from not doing whatever can happen. You
Yeah.
know? And so, like, as time progressed, I was able to let out a couple of cries here or there. You know, when I see a picture, I did a cry thing. But when I tell you, I could not cry that day. And I felt bad. That's another thing. You feel bad because you're like, why am I not reacting this way? But I could not. And I talked to somebody. Another thing, you gotta be willing to talk to people and say, hey, I'm not crying. Was something wrong with me? And somebody was like, nah, sis, your body is saying, we already here. You already grieving. Your body ain't separate the two. So you were already in grief mode. And you know, it worked. It worked in that moment because I was able to go and be there for my ex-mother-in-law, for my ex-husband, for my children, and I wasn't emotional. I
Mhm.
hated
Yeah.
that I wasn't, but you know what? At that time, they didn't need another emotional person. Everybody else was already dealing with the
That's what I was
unexpected.
just ready to say.
Yeah. So
It's so amazing how you said that, Chrissy, that
I was able
they
to
didn't
come
need
in.
another emotional
Did
person.
not.
And I would
They did
say
not.
they didn't need another breakdown of emotional
No.
person. You was emotional, but someone had to be in a place to where
Yeah.
there was a strength there to be
Yes.
able to carry through. I can remember when my brother passed as well. Like Alicia said, she went numb when her son died. And
Oh my.
so I could only imagine, um, as a mother with a living child, I'm a mother of miscarriage, but
Mhm.
just to have a living baby direct onto the earth, I would say deliver onto the earth, growing, hearing and walk, talk, grow in
Yeah.
age, that I could not imagine. Although it's a true life, that's what's going to happen for us. Parents, be prepared. Your children
Mhm.
come, they die. God makes a decision on what age they get here and they go.
Yeah.
Um, but as a mother who has had miscarriages, it's still the same. I don't say, oh, it's a different. It's a different. No, you're a mama. You're a parent. You lost child. Your baby didn't make it. And circumstances is what it is.
Mhm.
However, when I was in a position to help another, my nephew, I preached his daughter's funeral. Actually, that was my first funeral ever preaching. Was my little great niece, and it was like I had an emotion,
Yeah.
but I also had to remember spiritually, I had an assignment and I had to tell God, now, God, I'm standing up here and I don't know because I'm sitting there looking at this baby and this was a happy kid. And God, I got questions, but it was like He gave me that strength that I
Yeah.
needed to
But
really seriously to go through. And Christy,
yeah.
that word was something that was needed. That word of encouragement, that word of, letting them know that God has you, that's what was needed. And so when it's stated, as far as people say, oh, she's so strong. Oh, she didn't even cry. Well, my question is always to those persons who are looking for some emotions from those who have lost husbands, loved ones, nieces, nephews, cousins, friends, babies. What do y'all want them to do? Do you want them to roll up the aisle underneath the casket, snatch the body up, scream, kick their legs up, so you can have more conversation, more dialogue? What is your expectation?
Some
Because
people, it's grief is just different for everybody.
grief is different.
It's not a it's just different. I sometimes, this is just a Christianism. I don't think it's, well, it's a Christianism, but even in therapy, it kind of can come down to this. My mom died. I've probably said that a couple of times, but she has. Okay. But at her funeral, my brother and I and my sister and my sister-in-law, we got up and spoke. We were able, my brother and I were able to get up and speak, and we weren't full of tears. It's not like we had to, we didn't, we talked as if though she had just not passed away.
Right. They didn't have to
And
hold you back and
they didn't have to do that. But
and walk you up there and you.
here's what me and my brother, what we said. We didn't pressure each other. We had planned on talking. If we got there and we couldn't do it, we gave each other the grace to say, if you can't in that moment, I get you. Like, don't feel bad. That was the number one. We gave each other grace. If you can't do it, that's fine. Secondly, what I
Mhm.
personally feel, how we were able to get up and talk. Well, not that we weren't hurting, not that it was not whatever, but I feel like we didn't have any regrets with my mom. It was, I knew she was proud of me. She knew I was proud of her. We had our last moments. We accepted that this was the way the Lord was going to answer the prayer. He was going to heal her over there and not over here for whatever reason. She was
Yeah,
able to have those talks with us. You know what I'm saying? It was, I believe, the fact that we didn't have any regret with her,
that's it.
that we didn't have to go up there and be like, oh my God, it was nothing left unsaid. When I tell you I'm so grateful, because everybody don't get that, it was not a word left unsaid before my mama went into hospice. Before she went in, we were just like, I love you too. There was nothing else. Oh, well, let me tell her, let me make sure she know. I knew. My mama affirmed me. I already knew. My brother knew. We all had it. She knew. It was encouraging. So, but what people did though, because we weren't falling all over the place, and yes, we were all close to we were all close to, like, we were best. That was my bestie right there.
Yeah,
Um, because we weren't falling over the place, and we can get up and talk at the funeral. And like, I started off with a joke. I did. But that's me. I made the people laugh. My mama would have been like, "That's my daughter."
yeah.
You know.
Right, right,
But because we got up there and we displayed what people call strength, and I was like, I'm standing on prayer right now. um, this is what we got. Well, this the easy part. Well, it's it's coming. It's getting ready to get you. It's coming. Oh, just wait. The hard part ain't even here. This the easy part. If I could, the amount of people that came and told me and my brother that, and I was just sitting back like, first of all, I never said this was easy. I don't even understand
right,
why this is the easy. What do you mean this is the easy? This is not easy. Now, the months to follow, of course, have not been easy either, but that wasn't easy for us. But
right.
we could easily get up and express our love for our mother, probably because of that thing. But yeah, they want us, because to them that means that you care. If the greater the breakdown, the greater the tears, the greater the production, I guess is what you call it, then that means that you care so much. No, hell no. Probably the person that's breaking down so much is the person that
Is
got the
the
most
problem?
regret.
Is the most
Probably the
problem?
person that's breaking down so much is the person that's remembering, oh, I probably should have came and saw such and such. That's probably the person that's breaking down so much.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just like, and
Hmm.
the last person that told me that, because I
Hmm.
didn't had enough. The last person that told me that,
They got it.
I said, so that means I should be expecting your call 2 months from now, but you checking on me because you told me that it's about to get rough. So because you know how rough it's gonna get, that means I can expect your call, right? I appreciate your prayers. Please, please, y'all stop. At that point I didn't had enough. Because I wasn't all over the place, because I wasn't falling in the casket. How you know how I processed before? How you know what the process was before?
And Christy, my thing was with my grandmother.
And
That was
shout
my
out to my
girl.
support system.
Right.
I had a
Exactly.
kick ass support
Support
system
system. Okay.
that
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
making
Big.
sure when I
Let's
forgot
let's
to take
let's
my
give a
blood
hand, a
pressure
round of
meds.
applause to these support systems, baby. That they get that midnight call. They get
And
that
they just
midday,
listened.
and that
And they just listened.
they don't even wait for it, baby. They call and be like, "What's up?
I
You,
shout out
you
to the
all in
people
my
that text
spirit.
me.
What's going on? Let's
Did
do
you
it."
take your medicine this morning? I forgot to take my blood pressure. Oh, Trent, I was going through. I forgot to take my medicine. I forgot to eat. I've been taking my blood pressure medicine, Miss Nikki, since I was 30 and I'm 45. I was 44 when I passed away and I forgot to take. So please, I would be like, shout out to my support system that was just like,
Yeah,
did you take your medicine today, cousin? My
yeah,
cousin would take, did you take your medicine today?
yeah,
Did you eat? Did you eat? I don't.
yeah, yeah.
And the days to come.
When my grandmother passed, my best friend, she gave me she gave me that speech. Now listen, you're not going in there and you're not gonna be cutting up. You're gonna you're gonna sit there because granted don't require. She told you a long time ago, not Miss Nikki, don't you fall on that floor. Can't nobody get you up. You sit well. And that's what she said. That's what that girl said. That girl was funny. She said, now Miss Nikki, you know when the Lord come get me, you better not get on that floor because can't nobody get you up.
But your grandmother could tell you stuff like that.
Grandmother
Listen,
said it, and I believed it, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it, and the reason for it is because every Thursday we had a standing appointment together.
yeah.
Now, talk about unforgiveness. Oh yes, girl, yes. Ooh, when Dee Dee died, that was a life changing experience for you all, Tasha. Oh my God! But you know what? You handled yourself well, girl. You did good. That was her best friend. That's her best friend. That was our best friend, girl. Baby, strawberry shortcake world. That's us. And she's such a beautiful soul. Passed on, and
I share that
Tasha,
space.
she handled herself very well. Put that girl down, very beautiful. Handled herself, made sure everything was helped. Gave her mom that support she needed, and those are the things that we have to remember. And I just like I said, with my grandmother, I was upset. I talk about unforgiveness,
You mad at God?
baby. I
Mad.
was pissed mad the day that I finally decided I was going to the gravesite. And Christy, when I went to that gravesite,
Uh-huh.
and my grandmother did not have an address, she didn't have her marker, no footstone, no nothing. Baby, when I got there, when I tell you, ooh, I was angry. And Christy, I was angry. And baby,
That's
when I
right.
got on that phone, I called everybody from my mama on down to her sisters, her nieces, and everybody that was involved with making sure that those arrangements was cared for. Because my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother always had an address, and that's what I told him. I say she never left this undone. I know, because I went with her to take care of business. Why she ain't got no address, baby? It was a big thing. I didn't have nothing to say. I didn't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
It really, truly, honestly, it took my therapist and Jesus
And
to
Jesus.
tell me, Nikki, don't do that. My
Don't.
therapist told me straight up one day. It was so funny because I was so pissed with her. I
Yeah.
was so pissed with my mom and my aunt and my cousin. I was so pissed with them. My therapist say, "Now what you gonna do?" She said, "Cause you pissed, but who said that you can't do what they didn't do?"
Who said it?
She said, "So." And
And you
and
was
I
probably
I
like,
think I'm gonna tell you why
ow.
I was really pissed,
You
Christy.
probably like, ow. What?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I had just went into a transition of my finances at that point was not where they needed to be. We was getting to that point to where they were supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have the drop it and fix it
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all don't know what dropping and fixing money is?
You just
Oh,
drop
find a
it.
problem, drop it,
Drop it and fix it.
fix it, keep moving.
Look,
And so when
you
you
ain't
don't
have to
have
look in the
the
checkbook to get cheese on your cheeseburger. I like to tell some people I like to when I want cheese on my burger, I don't want to check the account. I get what you're saying. Get what you're saying.
I
You
like
can
that,
get.
Christy. I like
I
that.
got to.
I don't have to look at
Listen
my check
to
to
get cheese.
get cheese on my
I
cheeseburger.
want to
Come
be able
on
just to
now.
upgrade my combo. I tell people certain things I don't buy, not because I can't afford it, but I don't want to be. I want to be on the weekend if I see some shoes, two pair of tennis shoes. I don't want to have to be like, oh, I'm gonna have to say. I want to be able to drop 100, 200 and get my shoes that I want because I saw them in the store and I work hard. And so I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're
Ooh,
saying. That's what that
that's what it was. And so a lot of that too, you guys, we got to understand is that the the anger and the unforgiveness is not necessary. That's why they say it's not about the person, it's about you.
So it's about you.
It's you. And so for me, when she said that, I'm like, okay, I'm firing you. I don't want you as my therapist. Go find you
I,
something to do.
I
Today
love
is your
her.
last day. And she said, no, we're going to sit in this reality. That's what I used to love. I love when
Yes.
she said that. We're going to sit in this reality.
Sometimes we gotta
And
sit.
Christy, we had to sit in that reality. And reality of it was is that, yes, you can get angry with them. Yes, you can be upset with them. But baby, you own the
Decide
rights to
yourself.
all of it. And as much anger and rage as I had there, I then end up calling another friend of mine. She
Mhm.
walked me through it. She walked me through it directly there on the
Make
grade
it work.
site. Then I called over there and I'm thinking, okay, well, cool, I can fix this problem. Let me buy a marker. Let me call these people and let me ask them, can they just go ahead on and drop the marker? No. The person who made the arrangements is the person that's entrusted with that person's body. So therefore, I had to call my auntie who I cussed out real good
Okay.
and talk to her about it. Never did ask for forgiveness at that time. But I said, my grandmother doesn't have a stone. So I want to put my grandmama's stone there.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, you can do it. I'll call them. I'll let you do
Give
it.
you the rights.
So thought it was right. I put it on layaway. I'm paying for it. I'm doing what I got to do. Well, let me tell you, Christy, here's the second part of that story. They messed around and went in behind my back and dropped the stone there. I'm working hard with my stone on layaway and I'm pissed. Baby, I was so pissed about it because, honey, I'm scraping my dollars. I'm
Yeah.
doing what I got to do. I'm getting my grandmother her stuff. And you going to go behind my back and put one there and didn't even have the audacity heart to tell me. But you know what? Here go my therapist again. She say, well, you did put it down into them. She
Mm-hmm.
said, you planted that seed to tell them what your anger and rage is.
Mm-hmm.
She said, and you got them moving.
Moving.
She said, but Nikki, you didn't include them. She said, you got to teach people how to work with you.
Come on, accountability. That sometimes we don't like to hear.
She said, even when you don't like them, you still got to teach them. I said,
You probably was like,
ma'am,
I'm
you
done.
killing me. She said, Bible says, and when she said that, I say, I didn't ask you for no Bible. I
Look,
asked you for professionalism. She said, now, preacher, let's go there. The
let's go.
Bible says that love those who despitefully misuse you. You got to love them anyway.
You got it.
And
You got
because you felt the spite in that movement of them going and get it and never giving you a word and telling you anything, you still got to love on them. And Christy, I released that,
yes.
not that day,
No, 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 no. Take
not
your
the
second.
next day, not the next year. You
The
ready to come in?
process.
In 2021
Listen.
is when I released all of that unforgiveness of that particular thing. That's why today I can talk with a heart to say, just let it go
As long as
and
it's
let it go
released,
in the process time of what's best for you. You know your timetable on how you can grieve it out, process it out, and pull it out and release it out. Stop letting folks fall with you quickly, fast, pace you, microwave your ways of how you do your unforgiveness.
it's not gonna work. It's
It's
it's not.
not.
It's not a microwave. You
It's
you
not.
don't you gonna feel the process, but you. It's gonna sound silly, but you want to feel that process. It's so much better for you when people say forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you. We minimize that. We
Yeah,
minimize that.
neither now.
But it's Miss. Listen, my bestie passed 8 years ago, and oh my God, I
Yeah,
sit in that space with you. Oh Jesus,
yeah,
it's the worst. It's the worst.
yeah,
Um, but it's for you because you benefit from the process. In my process of forgiving, the apologies that I never got, and the ones I
yeah,
did, and the ones I did, I learned so much about myself. I
yeah,
learned triggers that I didn't know I had. I learned my error in that. It's some things that grew into resentment what I could have just called to the carpet right then and there. But
there you
I
go.
let it go. I was like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna let it go. I no longer let it go.
Yeah,
I decide, is this a good time for me to talk about the situation? And, I make sure cooler heads will prevail. But I'm intentional on, let's talk this out. If a person says I don't want to talk it out, I put like, okay, well, now the ball's in your court. I've done, this and that, but I don't want to let it build up no more. Girl, listen, that weighs on your heart.
it
Then you get
does.
stressed harder. You get stressed. Stress heart attacks are
It's hard.
real.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard month. Let me tell you. Let me
You
tell you
get stress
my
heart
quick story of
attacks.
that. Listen, Christy, I got my heart scar, and it wasn't because I wasn't eating right and doing right. What I understood about AFib is that it's a stress that happens
Yes,
when your heart gets to palpitating.
yes,
There
ma'am.
is a unnoticed stress. Is it like the doctor said? We don't really know how it happens, but when it does happen, he says your heart is at the top going, trying
It's
to
going crazy.
function. And when he said that's the only organ that does not repair itself, you have to go in and actually manually repair. See, my heart too much important to me to be having people having to go inside and really, really, really repair who I am. Hey, Miss Hawkins,
Morning.
good morning.
Good. See, and that's what it is. You realize my heart is too much for me to have me
Ooh,
carry this stress,
my heart is
and
too
then
important.
and you send me to an early grave. Like those folks say, you send me to the early grave. It's too much stress. It's
Too
too
much.
stress. Grief. I mean, people dying of a broken heart.
It's
That's
true.
what that is.
Yeah,
So be intentional. Don't.
yeah,
It's gonna hurt.
yeah,
Go through the hurt now. When you first get a scab and you put some peroxide on it or whatever it was and be like, "Ooh, that hurt." It fizzles and bubbles up. Listen, let's let it fizzle and bubble up for the next 10-20 minutes
yeah,
versus ignoring that thing. And then next thing you know, you got a whole infection in your finger. And then now they
yeah.
gotta go in and they gotta dig it out. And now they gotta pack it. And now you gotta get somebody to come and clean it. When all we had to do was put some peroxide on it when it first happened and not give it time for the fungus and the bacteria and all of that stuff to set in. And then it started affecting, hey, Miss Tar, then it started
Hey,
affecting
Mr.
the
R.
organs. And then before you know it, you got a whole finger cut off when all you had to do was put peroxide. We just had to put peroxide and go through that little healing time.
Small foxes kill the vine. And the reason why the word says that is because we don't want to face the small things. We want to really seriously face the big things. You know the cliche words that people say. How do you eat a whole elephant? One bite at a time.
Right at a time. And that's how
And
healing
that, go ahead.
that's how healing is. One bit and piece at a time. And I just want to throw this out there, and I know we wrapping up because I know
Yeah,
I got a 9 to 5.
yeah,
But sometimes I love us. I love us, church people. I love us. Um, Sometimes you will go to the altar. You may not get instant forgiveness. So you got to recognize an emotional moment, and then you still got to go and process that thing. You still can go and take the first steps. You're going to get that prayer that's going to get you going, which you need. The next step, find somebody or something to sit under that has
mm,
been through what you have been through. It works out better when you can find someone that has been through what you've been through. I listen to people who has buried a mom. I tell anybody that if you have not buried your mother, chances are I will not care what you're telling me. That's just that on that. I am not unapologetically saying it because let me tell you something. You don't know what this feels like to not be able to wake up and call your mother. You don't have the option. So I don't want to hear about no estranged mama. I don't want to hear about where this was a mother figure to me that died. And I tell people that, is it your mama? I thought I told you that, but can you pick up the phone and call your mama though? Can you pick up the phone and call your
yeah,
mama? I don't want to hear, girl. I know you have no effing clue. So I personally say, sit under somebody that have walked your walk.
yeah,
I too have birthed children and watched them take their first breath and their last breath.
yeah,
I am qualified to speak into the life of the mother who has
yeah,
birthed their child and buried their child.
yeah,
That's that on that.
yeah,
I'm not qualified to speak to the person who have lost a father or something. You know what I'm saying? And that's
yeah.
that on that. So find
That's
somebody
good.
that can walk you through what they've been through. I love you to
Ooh,
find somebody that know Bible too. Find somebody that has walked through what you've been through and they're healed. You don't want somebody giving you their feedback through their unhealed lens.
ooh,
I've birthed a child, I've buried a child. I've I've done my work. Does that mean someday it don't hurt? Heck yes. Heck yes, it still hurts when their birthday comes around. Heck yes, those milestone deals. Heck yes, I relive the whole day when all of this happens. Heck yes. But I can still walk you through it. I'm still gonna tell you, yeah, girl, it's just gonna hurt for the rest of it. It's gonna hurt for the rest of your life. But we're gonna walk through this thing together.
yeah,
So find you that person to sit under. Don't think because you went up and you got and you did this and that at the altar. We love the altar call. I'm not knocking that. Please don't say that. But you gotta work your process.
that's right.
And you
And
should
y'all
want
understand.
to.
Y'all know exactly what Christy's saying. Don't be coming over here playing like we don't know. We don't understand. We not we unlearned. Don't do
That's
that.
it.
Y'all know
I
what she's
just
saying.
I
She's
just
saying that
okay.
this conversation, as we say over here on the early bird
Look, this is
morning
what I
chat.
that's where I got it wrong at. I thought because oh Lord, I asked you to heal my heart and you did this and that and then it's years later and I'm in a depression because I buried children and I didn't go and get the proper help. I pushed it aside and now I got anxiety when my grown children leave the house because I didn't deal with the true grief of losing children.
Yes.
Sit on that. Come on. Let's come on in.
And
Let's
let,
deal
and
with
let
it.
me help. Let me help since we're there. Let me
So
help mothers who are having an issue in miscarriages. Let me tell you something. It hurts. It hurts. It
yeah,
hurts the possibilities of knowing that your child didn't even get to make a full body,
the
but
guilt,
it's just a
the
heart,
everything.
just a little heartbeat of them, and that really does.
I'm
It
back.
really does do something to you.
And
But
yes,
again,
don't let people say, "Oh, it was just a miscarriage." Do not let people say that.
it's
Your
a baby.
body was growing a human. I know the guilt, the shame, the embarrassment, the this is what my body supposed to do. What you mean it didn't do? Acknowledge it. We talked about it. Step one, acknowledge that thing. Acknowledge it, put a name on it, call it out, and then come on. Let's
Yeah,
go to work. Like we say,
yeah,
let's go to work. Find somebody
yeah,
who gonna get in the trenches with you.
yeah.
Find somebody
Exactly.
who ain't scared to get back in them trenches with you.
That's it. And that's another thing too. The stories of the sensitivity of these type of stories and places. Grief is sensitive. You can't share your grief with those persons who don't take grief serious.
No,
And what I'm saying when I say people don't take your grief serious, don't think that the person have to be very holistic and oh yes. No. You can get a good laughing friend. Like myself, I'm a comedian at heart when it comes down to things like that. Like I can make you laugh full fledged at a whole funeral
yeah,
because it's like for me, God just be talking to me and coming in these things. But guess what? I'm right there feeling it with you, and we gonna walk that thing through. So knowing the sensitivity of what you're dealing and experiencing there, just know who your persons are.
so
Know where you are with them. And really truly let's grab through it. Christy, this forgiveness conversation that we having,
it's
I'm loving it.
multifaceted. It's
I'm loving it.
this is multi
Thank
it's
you for bringing
multifaceted.
that up. Thank you for really
Yeah,
truly bringing that
girl.
forward. And I think
Let's
this is
just be
something,
healed.
yeah.
Let's
So
just
the
be
word
healed.
of today is acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement. Christy said that acknowledgement is important. So you know, Christy is our communication expert. She know about this. Her background, professionally and spiritually, is in this area. We're gonna definitely make sure that hey, we don't take lightly what she's saying to us. We over here believe in Jesus and
Yeah.
therapy. Them people go together.
They go
And
to
so I'll be making that shirt soon, Christy,
please
so
do
we
so
can
I
have that
can
shirt
buy it.
on because
Please do so
yeah,
I can
so we
buy it.
yeah, we gonna have these shirts on, child, because people need to understand Jesus and therapy, them people go together. Get somebody that you can lay on their couch, walk in the Starbucks with, or somewhere y'all can go and say, hey, I know the Lord. He will make a way. But
And this is how he's making
I
a way.
also know that he said seek some wise counseling.
It's in
I
there.
need you to help me with this.
It's in there. He says seek wise counsel. I don't know why we don't pay attention to that part.
You know, that was another thing. Super saved saints, a super saved saint,
Everything,
pastor and wife said
everything
to the
on
people
YouTube is
that
cast
folks
out.
that they rebuke therapy. I was like, what?
I'm like,
I was
everything
like, oh, okay.
is cast
I
out.
clicked off they live when they said that because I'm like, and you're the wise counselor that they need to talk to. You can be the certified Christian counselor, but you they're saying even a professional person don't even, yeah, Tara. She say it's in the Bible. Like
Some people
you,
need some medicine to hit therapy. That's gonna be a whole nother topic. It's 8:57.
girl.
Start that late. It's
Oh,
we're not
you
gonna
know that's
rebuke
good.
we're not gonna rebuke mental health medication and tell you to
We're
take
not.
your blood
We're
pressure.
not. We're not.
They
Take your
two in the
trousers
same.
down.
They two
Take
in
your trousers down, baby. Take your trousers.
take it.
Take your trousers down.
Take it.
I had not had to take it, but you know what? I hear it makes you feel good.
Take it. Take it so you can hear. You got to take some so you can have the attention to hear what the therapist is saying. So you are, if
Exactly.
you want to be super spiritual, so you can read your Bible and comprehend. You
Right.
have to comprehend. Your mind has to be there to comprehend what is being told. And if those chemicals in your brain are going haywire for whatever reason, we're gonna have to regulate that so you can hear. You don't have to stay on it, but then again, you might have to stay on it. I mean, anyway, mental health will be a whole nother education on mental health. Please don't get me started on mental health. That's one of my passions.
So let's pray it out, Christy. And tomorrow morning at 7:30, y'all come on back.
It's
And
love
definitely, I'm excited to see Miss Hawkins and Miss Bean is back in the building. They went to ATL tomorrow. Christy gonna have some pieces for paparazzi to show
on the love day. Okay, Miss Nikki. Okay.
on
Okay,
Love
Miss
Day.
Nikki.
We listen. We need to at least have 3 people to buy something from Christy tomorrow for her paparazzi move. Let's
Because
go
it's
for it.
love day. It's
It's
love day
Love
tomorrow.
Day.
I'm gonna be with all of the love stuff.
It's gonna be
So
with all the love.
all the cliche love stuff. I'm gonna find me a love mug
She
today.
gonna love. Oh, she gonna find her love mug. She gonna be all in it. I may need to go buy me one balloon.
There you go. I'm not gonna have no balloons. I'm gonna have on a love shirt and have on my love mug.
I
Who
may have
knows?
one balloon right here.
I can find something cute to put on my head with little hearts
You
everywhere.
know
I
what?
am for the shenanigans. It's my favorite holiday besides my birthday.
Well, you know what? Dollar Tree. Go to the Dollar Tree. Hurry up. She said, "Y'all tag me." That's it. We gonna tag you. Yes. So she
It's,
can be able to get her paparazzi
it's
pieces
my
together.
favorite.
Get some sets. Get some necklaces and earring sets together.
I got some sets up in there. I got some sets up in there.
Preferably pink for me. You know.
Preferably pink. I'm gonna see what I got.
Yeah, preferably pink for me. I'm a pink girl, so you know.
Okay, how did I know
I'm
that?
down for the pinkers. All right, y'all.
All
Let's
right.
go ahead on and pray, Christy. Let's pray it out.
All right, Father God, we just thank you for today. We thank you for opening this dialogue on forgiveness, Father God, that needs to be talked about more. We thank you for this platform. We thank you for using myself and Miss Nikki, Father God. We just pray favor on all the endeavors that Miss Nikki is going to do, that is doing. We thank you once again for using her for this platform, Father God, to get your word out. We thank you for the confirmation that we get after these after we get off these empowerments, that we are doing what you have called us to do, and that
Yes,
this is not in vain. We ask you to cover and bless all the viewers that are watching now and those that will watch again on the replay. In Jesus' name, amen.
amen. Listen, it's not about what I say, it's about how I make you feel. And man, I hope I made you feel some type of way. Have a good day.
Bye.